Queen heartbreak, the sad reason Queen could spend time with Prince Philip this weekend. Queen Elizabeth II could meet with husband Prince Philip, who lives in Norfolk, this week due to a heartbreaking reason. The Queen, 93, could choose to spend time with her husband of more than 70 years this weekend. Then Princess Elizabeth married Prince Philip in 1947 and the couple has been through thick and thin together ever since. However, the Queen does not see Philip, 98, very often anymore after his retirement in 2017. The Duke of Edinburgh stepped back from royal duties at the age of 96 after completing 22,219 solo engagements. After his retirement, Philip moved to Wood Farm Cottage on the grounds of his wife's Sandringham estate in Norfolk. This means he does not get to see his wife very often, as the Queen, at the age of 93, is still a full-time working royal. However, the couple may meet up this weekend after the monarch was forced to cancel some events this week. Next week, the Queen was due to visit 3 places in Macclesfield and Cheshire. She had also been due to visit Camden, however, details of the visit were yet to be released. On her agenda, the Queen was planning to visit the Bentley Motors factory in Crewe, and the Jodrell Bank Observatory and Square Kilometre Array Global Headquarters in Macclesfield on March 19. But those plans were scrapped last minute due to the increasing cases of the deadly coronavirus in the UK. A statement shared by the royal family said as a sensible precaution and for practical reasons in the current circumstances, changes are being made to the Queen's diary commitments in the coming weeks. The statement read, in consultation with the medical household and government, Her Majesty's forthcoming visits to Cheshire and Camden will be rescheduled. Audiences will continue as usual. Other events will be reviewed on an ongoing basis in line with the appropriate advice. In Britain so far, the number of confirmed cases of coronavirus has risen to 798 and left 10 dead. This means the Queen has more free time to spend time with her family in the coming week. Although the 93-year-old monarch spent the majority of her time living at Buckingham Palace in London, it's no secret she has a special place in her heart for the Sandringham estate, where Philip now lives. Located in Norfolk, Sandringham House stands within a 20,000 acres estate in the Norfolk coast area of outstanding natural beauty. The estate is located in the village of Sandringham, within the town of King's Lynn, just a 3-hour drive from London. The Queen inherited Sandringham from her father King George VI in 1952, following his death on February 6. When she inherited the property in 1952, Prince Philip took over all responsibility for its management. The Queen normally resides at Sandringham House from Christmas until February every year. However, she may choose to revisit the estate early this year to get away from the increasing number of coronavirus in London, and spend time with her husband. Coronavirus can infect anyone, but it's older adults, ages 60 and up, who are more likely to get seriously sick from it. Both the Queen and Prince Philip are both in their 90s and the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, has urged people in that age group to be cautious. A report published in the medical journal JAMA that examined more than 72,000 Chinese coronavirus patients found that the overall fatality rate was 2.3%. But in adults over 80, the fatality rate rose to 15%. Queen Elizabeth, Prince Philip to be moved out of Buckingham Palace over coronavirus. London, Queen Elizabeth has been shifted from the Buckingham Palace in London to Windsor Castle as UK plans for isolation measures for people over 70 with the country's coronavirus death toll hitting 21, nearly doubling from 11 within a day. The 93-year-old monarch and her 98-year-old husband, Prince Philip, are likely to be placed in quarantine at the Royal Sandringham Estate in Norfolk in the coming weeks as tougher measures are put in place to fight the coronavirus outbreak in the UK affecting over 1,140 people. The deadly virus has claimed over 5,300 lives and infected more than 142,000 people across 135 countries and territories, with the World Health Organization describing the outbreak as a pandemic on Wednesday. Other events will be reviewed on an ongoing basis in line with the appropriate advice, a Buckingham Palace statement said as it announced diary cancellations for the monarch. Some reports indicate that her move from the palace in the heart of London, which has a large staff and frequent visitors, was part of a regular weekend getaway for the Queen to Windsor on Thursday. However, other reports indicate that the situation will be kept under constant review before she is brought back to London and may instead be shifted to Sandringham, with a much smaller staff. She is in good health, but it was thought best to move her, a royal source was quoted by The Sun as saying. The palace hosts a constant stream of visitors, including politicians and dignitaries from around the world. The Queen has met a lot of people there until recently. But she is weeks away from her 94th birthday and advisors believe it is best to get her out of harm's way, the source said. Meanwhile, UK Health Secretary Matt Hancock confirmed the government's plans to put the elderly and vulnerable into complete isolation within weeks. She is in good health, but it was thought best to move her, a royal source was quoted by The Sun as saying. Queen Elizabeth II, Prince Philip moved out of Buckingham Palace over coronavirus fears. If things worsen, there are plans to quarantine the Queen and Prince Philip at Sandringham, Norfolk. Queen Elizabeth II and Prince Philip have left Buckingham Palace in the wake of the coronavirus pandemic. The royal couple have been hurriedly moved to Windsor Castle. This was post the Cobra crisis talks chaired by Boris Johnson. The 93-year-old monarch and her husband, 98, were rushed to Windsor Castle. If things worsen, there are plans to quarantine the couple at Sandringham, Norfolk. Queen Elizabeth II and Prince Philip have been moved as a preventive measure. The Queen is reportedly in good health, but according to a royal source, this move was undertaken as a precautionary measure, The Sun reports. The palace hosts a constant stream of visitors including politicians and dignitaries from around the world, the insider added. She is weeks away from her 94th birthday and advisors believe it is best to get her out of harm's way, the source said. Buckingham Palace is in the middle of London and also has a bigger staff than other estates, so is deemed a much more dangerous location. There have been no specific scares or positive tests there yet, but no one wants to take any chances. The Queen's shift to Windsor is not the only precaution being taken, the insider added. Apart from visitors to the palace, there are approximately 500 staff at Buckingham Palace, 100 working in Windsor, while only a handful work in Sandringham. Britain's coronavirus death toll almost doubled as 10 more people died, bringing total deaths to 21. On Friday, Buckingham Palace announced that the monarch's Cheshire and Camden trips were postponed due to the coronavirus pandemic. The Queen has also been advised to cancel her annual garden parties in May and June in order to reduce the spread of coronavirus. The British royal family to date has been carrying out their official duties by not letting the coronavirus scare stop them. The Queen also set an example by keeping calm and carrying on until there is compelling advice to the contrary. It has been revealed that a building in Windsor Great Park was closed for a deep clean after 3 people showed symptoms similar to those of COVID-19. The Savio building is closed over the weekend for the cleaning work.